2025 CR 0000700, 2025 CR 0000701, State versus Felipe Reyes. Can I have parties announce? All right, I've been informed that the jurors have reached a verdict. Deputy Laura, you can bring the jurors in. All right, everyone, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the court's understanding you've reached a verdict. Is that correct? And is the verdict unanimous? All right, Deputy Laura, if you will pass the verdict form. Thank you. All right. Count one, it says, we, the jury, find the defendant not guilty of count one. Count two, it says, we, the jury, find the defendant not guilty of count two. And in the cause number ending in 701, count one, it says, we, the jury, find the defendant not guilty. And count two, it says, we, the jury, find the defendant not guilty. Does anyone wish to have the jury polled? All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll come back and speak to you briefly. All right, Deputy Laura, if you can have the jurors go back. All right. on bond. Who's your client? All right, if she can come up. And Rick, are you, oh, Hunter. Hi, you can stand in. Thank you. Where's your client? Hi. And I'll walk you through the paperwork.
Correct, Judge.
All right, the court is calling 2024 CR 01309 and 2025 CR 000240 State versus Allison Settle. Can I have parties announce?
Will Brooks for the defendant, Ms. Seth, Judge.
And are you Miss Settle? Counsel, have you received all discovery in each of these cause numbers? Did you review them with your client?
Yes and yes, Judge.
In each cause number, the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Settle, did you review the documents entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Did you review the true bill of indictment in each of these cause numbers with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictments?
We do, Judge.
All right, and cause number 2024 CR 013090. It appears state that you're proceeding on count one, you're waiving count two in the repeater enhancement allegation. Is that correct?
That's correct, Judge, and that should be the case for both causes.
All right, any objection?
No objection, Judge.
And each cause number, did you see the court review the court's admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
I did.
And the cause number ending in 90, you're charged with unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon as a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. If I grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
And the cause number ending in 40, you're charged with fraudulent use or possession of identifying information. 5 items to 10 items of the elderly as a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison. If the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
And each of the cause numbers, if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
In each cause number, you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses. The state would call in the right to remain silent. Off the record. Deputy Lord, could you make sure they bring out Miss Chelsea? All right, we're back on the record. Did you understand by entering these pleas, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, sir.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in each of these cause numbers? Counsel, has anyone threatened, counsel, has your client been able to provide with any defenses?
She has, Judge.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do, Judge.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Settle, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter these pleas?
No, sir.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement?
No, sir.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, sir.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
I am.
Court will find that this defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial in each cause. In each cause that you review the plea bargain page with your attorney, did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
In each cause, the state is proceeding on count one and waiving count two in the repeater enhancement allegation. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at a cap of 6 years in the prison. There's a $1,000 fine. The state is opposed to your application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. The cause numbers will run concurrently. And the cause number ended in 90, you're to follow conditions listed under 2025 CR 00240. And in that cause number, there's to be no harmful or injurious contact with the complainant and family. There's to be no contact with Vargas, Thurston, Uriga, Getz, and Creamer. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes,
I'm
Your
sorry, but that's the way I said it. It's Creamer, Creamer. Is that how you pronounce it?
It is, Judge.
Is it Creamer? I think it's Creamer.
Yes, Richard Creamer, Judge.
Thank you. Okay.
Dr.
All right.
Dr. Richard Creamer.
Just a second. All right, so we're back on the record. Did you understand that to be the plea in each of these cause numbers?
Yes, sir.
Defense?
Yes, Judge.
State.
Yes, Judge.
All right, did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph in each of these cause numbers with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in each place?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
Motions, I think we had rulings on a bond motion, but otherwise no other rulings, Judge.
And the cause number ending in 40 outside the agreement, they're asking that you have no contact with Rudy Rodriguez. Did you understand that was a recommendation from the state and the court does not have to follow that recommendation?
Yes, sir.
Then in cause number 2024 CR 013090, how do you plead to the offense in count one? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
And in cause number 2025 CR 000240, how do you plead to count one?
No contest.
All right, state any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
State understates one of the attachments in each cause, Judge.
No objections to states one or attachments in either cause, Judge.
All right, in each cause number, did you review the documents entitled waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachment in each clause number, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court would defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. All right, we can go off the record. So they're telling me it's taking about 8 weeks for PSI to be done. So we can do the 8 weeks, or if you would like, I could set it sooner and you can have witnesses come in and testify. Which do you prefer?
Judge, I think a PSI needs to be done. I think more important would be a screening for drug court, Judge, and then a McMyoff evaluation as well.
All right, so in each cause number, I will request then the PSI, a TAP evaluation, Mick Myoff evaluation, and a referral to felony drug court. Norma, what date?
July 28th.
All right, we'll come back on July 28th. And at that time, I'll make a decision on your application. You need to make sure that you make all of your appointments. Normally, you will have an appointment that you meet with a probation officer. These other appointments, they're completely separate, so you'll be given completely different days for them. All right, is there anything else?
Judge, if I may, she is currently on. So she's got a GPS device, Judge. We've had some modifications in the past. Currently, she's living at Haven.
Mhm.
And she's getting services there. She's a new mother and she has possession of the child. There's a ton of appointments and things she has to go through, both for services and then for the baby.
Mhm.
The challenge has been asking her officer and her officer coordinating all the different things she has to go to. Become cumbersome for the officer as well. That's the court to consider switching possibly to tracking. A lot of times I think we'll have full house arrest. We're concerned about protecting victims, concerned about the person fleeing, but she's demonstrated a propensity to show up to court. And she knows what the restrictions are in respect to some of the complaints are strange, but in respect to her family, Judge.
All right, and where is the child right now?
My mother is watching her.
Mhm.
Mother's one of the complainants, Judge.
Okay.
But she knows not to bring a child to court. That's why she was.
No, I mean, I'm always concerned if, yes, do not bring children to court. But if you're not, I'm hopeful that they're in a place that's safe.
Absolutely.
All right, state, what do you say? So this is through pretrial?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, who's the pretrial officer?
Genesis Ramirez.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, you have Genesis Ramirez zoom in, please?
Ramirez?
Yes. I just have to see, we're gonna have your pretrial service officer zoom in.
What was her first name, Judge?
She said Genesis. All right, if he's already sent back, have him, see if they can have him by Zoom. All right, thank you.
He was dressed in Mexican.
Okay. What page is settle on?
The first and second.
All right, thank you. Oh, no wonder I can't find it. This is the wrong docket. Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison. There's $1,000 fine. There is no application for deferred adjudication, and the state recommends community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
Yes, sir.
State?
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes,
Counsel, are there any such motions?
sir.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 3 years. There be a TAP evaluation, community service restitution hours, no contact with Alma Martinez, and the life skills course. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence.
State overstates one in the. No,
All right, state you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has, thank you. Court will find that defendant has knowingly, voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments. Just one moment. The court will find that there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, sir.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, we would just ask the court to follow the plea bargain.
All right, so do you have any grandchildren or children?
Yes,
What are their ages?
my children are like from 30. The youngest one is 26. And my grandchildren, the oldest one's 10, well, I got 2 10-year-olds. The youngest one is 5 months.
All right, and do they live with you?
No,
All right, so how did you get involved in all of this?
I don't know, tell you. I mean, I used to be in the streets
Mhm.
and I was married for 27 years. We got separated. My husband went to school, took my kids from the school. I was in a very abusive relationship. And we called the cops and my kids wouldn't get out of the car. So he took my kids. And I didn't have a job at that time. So he was an electrician. So he had, I thought he had better for my kids. So I mean, how am I gonna fight for my kids if I didn't even have nowhere to live? I ended up being a heroin addict for 4 years. I've been clean already for 15. It was just the people
Well, I mean, you say you've been clean for 15, so
of hell.
on 2023, was there any usage involved?
No,
And the reason why I'm asking you this is because I'm trying to figure out what would be the best conditions for you in order for you to be successful on probation. So who is this Alma Rodriguez person to you? I'm sorry, Alma
I used
Martinez.
to live with her. I used to live with her. And I was gonna ask you about that. Like, sometimes she comes around. What do I do about that?
Oh, you just have to call the police and say, hey, I don't want her here, and she's not to have any contact with me.
Is there anything you can give me to, like, if she does?
Oh, you just call the police.
Call the police. Because she does sometimes come around. See,
So-
I got finally, I got a real job,
Mhm.
okay?
What do you do?
I waitress at Duran's Mexican restaurant in Houston. And right around the corner is the Oil Hotel.
Mhm.
So at the Oil Hotel, I do laundry, I do housekeeping, and I do the office work.
Mhm.
I do all that. In the mornings, well, I only help out at Duran's when they need me. You know, like here recently, I've been working there at Duran's and at the hotel. But like I tell them, the hotel is my job because I live there. I live there. I finally got a place I can call home because I used to be up and down, house to house. My kids are grown, they got their own families. I don't want to be there in the middle of everything, you know? And now I got a place that, like I said, I can call home. It's a room, but it's my room. I don't have to worry about people stealing my stuff. I don't have to, when I used to live with Alma, that was the whole problem. Every time I'd get paid, I'd go buy me something nice and everything, and it'd disappear. And finally, my son told me, he goes, Mom, he goes, why do you keep on staying there? And I go, because I got nowhere to go. He goes, but you got us, you know, why don't you come stay with us? So I did. So I did. I finally got tired of it and I did go stay with my son. Well, that's when I got called for this housekeeping job. And I told my son, well, the thing is, I have to stay there. And he's like, well, I don't know about that. And then I go, well, why not? Let me go try it out. If I like, let me go try it out. If I like it, I'll stay. If I don't, well, you know, I'll see if I can work living here with you and still work there. And he's like, okay. But no, it's very different compared to all the other hotels. It's, they're very picky on who they let stay there. Like we have people there that live there for 2, 3 years. It's very quiet, peaceful, and I really like it a lot. And then this came out and it's like my path.
All right.
Like my granddaughter told me, now what did you do? What did you do that? I didn't do nothing. It was from when I was bad, when I was a bad person.
All right. Anything you wish to add?
Jojo, I've represented her for quite a few months and I didn't provide them to the court. I do have several reference letters that were presented to the state. I asked those from my client just to show the difference of where she was and before and where she is now.
Mhm.
She has indicated throughout this that her life has changed and getting on probation was a high priority just with the fact that she does have this job. She seems to have maintained it throughout the time that I've represented her and she still currently has that job. And so it seems to be something that is consistent in her life and I think that she's enjoying that consistency. With regard to the timeline, and I've talked to the state about this, it was I believe it was an I don't, it was filed, but then it was dismissed because no toxicology. And then it was refiled maybe 2 months later. So in essence, Judge, it was a 23 case that was filed in 24. I asked if there was, if she was still at that same address. She wasn't. And so I think with regard to the timeline that she's representing to the court is it was an old case, Judge. It was from, I believe, 23. And so a lot has happened since that time and a lot has changed in her life. So she is asking the
My
court to
husband
recognize
passed
that.
away 2 years ago. That's what we need also. My kids don't have me. My grandkids don't have me.
All right. This is what I'm going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 5 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 3 years. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. Proof of employment within 30 days. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. $1,000 fine that will be probated. There's to be no contact with Alma Martinez. 80 hours community service restitution. I'm going to order that she do sober meetings 1 per week. And for everyone she does, deduct an hour from her community service restitution. There's to be no residing with minors and a TAP evaluation out of custody follow recommendations. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
There.
Probation, is there anything else she needs? Ah, thank you. Field visits, one time per month for 4 months. All right, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, just thank you
You're
for
welcome.
giving me another chance.
Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal?
Excuse me?
Did you review that document?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And this court to be successful on probation, communication is key. If you have an issue, let probation know. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can always come back to court, all right?
Thank you.
All right, good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, yes, the parties unsettled. Officer Ramirez. She's here by Zoom. Officer Ramirez, there you are.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you so much for zooming in. It's on Miss Settle, Allison
Yes.
Settle. All right, so defense is saying that she has a lot of appointments that she has to attend. What appointments would those be, defense?
Mostly doctors, stuff for my daughter and then housing.
All right, so the doctor's appointment, I'm assuming that there would be no issues with doctor's appointments. Officer Ramirez?
Oh, yeah, sorry. No, there's no issues. And she's been very good as well with communicating with me every time she has appointments. She makes sure that she emails me 24 hours ahead of time. And then she's also really amazing at providing me every doctor's note every time she goes to the hospital, every time she goes to the doctor. She always provides all her doctor's notes, and I have all those as well.
All right, so there's no problem with her going to the doctors.
No problem at all. Yeah.
I think it's just the process, Judge. That's why I was
Mhm.
asking. So, Officer Ramirez, I was asking the court today to consider alternate amending to tracking only.
Okay.
And would that be easier for you? In other words, is it a pain to log the requests and the,
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a pain, but it is a lot because I know Miss Allison has had a lot of appointments. I know with her baby, she's been going to the doctor a lot recently. And so, I mean, I have also told her to try to file that motion to either tracking only or to get the GPS removed. So that way it can make it easier on her. We always say, like, if it's an emergency, you can go no matter what. Just make sure you provide the paperwork stating you were there. But yes, it would make it a lot easier that way. She can come and go to the hospital as she pleases.
thank you, officer.
All right, thank you. So here's my issue. What I've discovered is when you have people who have addiction issues, everything is going great because they're being held accountable for every single thing that they do. But then when you say, oh, we're just going to do tracking only, then people start backsliding. And I don't want that to happen. And that is my concern.
Understood. All we can do is make the request,
Yeah.
Judge.
So I don't know, state.
I appreciate that she's been compliant, Judge. I'm not vehemently opposed to her request for tracking only. If this court is inclined to grant tracking only, I would just ask that she abide by the no harmful and injurious contacts and no contacts listed in the agreement.
All right. Well, I tell you what. I'll do tracking, but it'll be tracking with a curfew.
Judge, I think that's fine.
So if y'all want to figure out a curfew time, y'all can figure out a curfew time.
If not, it's 19. But I'm usually in by 6 and the baby goes to sleep by 7. Oh, in the morning, 8.
It would do 8 to 6, Judge, or 8 to 5.
All right. So state, what do you say to 8 to 6 p.m.?
Agreeable, Judge.
All right. So she has tracking, but she can be out and about from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Appreciate it.
Thank
May we
you.
be excused?
Thank you,
Yes.
Ms. Ramirez.
You all may need to do an order because they'll have to put in the order and we'll do it. But it starts today.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
You, officer.
Thank you so much for
All right,
zooming in. All
bye-bye. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
right, who's here on Telsey?
It's Mr. Woodard, he should be on Zoom. Judge.
Yeah, he's on Zoom. Can I have a file stamp, please, for a plea? Yes, sir. Court is calling 2025 CR 003892, State of Texas versus Lisa Telsey. Can I have parties announced for the record? State? Defense?
David Andre Woodard from Ms. Telsey.
And are you Miss Telsey?
Yes,
Do you have any objection to your attorney appearing by Zoom?
no,
Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I have, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Telsey, did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Telsey, did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand, and did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with theft of mail, no more than 30 items, but no less than 10 items?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a state jail felony. Range punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes,
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
yes,
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in, the right to remain silent?
yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into an agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
She has, Judge.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
She does.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
She is.
Ms. Telsey, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes,
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 58 days in the Bexar County Jail. There's a $500 fine, and the state is asking that you be sentenced under 1244. Did you understand that to be the plea?
yes,
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Judge.
State, is that the plea?
It is.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
yes,
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence.
State offer states 1.5.
No objections, Judge.
Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
yes,
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in, the right to remain silent?
yes,
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
yes,
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing state's exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We're just asking the court to follow the recommendation.
All right, why are you doing this?
Because I just wanna get back to my life and back to my kids.
I don't understand how stealing, I'm saying, why are you stealing?
Oh, I didn't mean to steal.
No, I mean, you did, but if you go into somebody's mailbox that's not your own and you take what's inside the mailbox, that's stealing and you intend to do it. If you break into a mailbox, you're actually breaking into a mailbox. What do you mean you didn't intend to take mail?
I wasn't thinking, it was a bad decision on my part.
All right, court is going to find you guilty. The court has sentenced you to 58 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244. Give you credit for any time served. There's a $500 fine. Time and money run concurrent. The court will find that the judgment is satisfied and there's to be no contact with Shelton Burnett, Burnette. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Just 1 second.
What is the contact?
Forever. It should be forever, but I can't give you forever. But it should be forever because you all are out committing crimes. You shouldn't be together. You're not a good couple to be together. You're toxic together, or maybe you're toxic as individuals. I don't know. And that should be the least of your concerns. Because if anything, if he were a good partner to you, he would have been saying, hey, we shouldn't be breaking into these mailboxes. They're not ours. But everybody's trying to get fast money. And I will tell you this, the people whose mailbox you broke into, guess what? Maybe they were waiting for their check. Maybe it's somebody who's waiting for their social security check and they don't have it because somebody broke into their mailbox. I don't know why people won't get a job, a job. If you want something, you get money for it. And then, oh, I want to get back to my children. You should have been thinking about that when you were breaking into mailboxes. Were your children with you while you were breaking into mailboxes? See, you should have been with your children, but instead you were with this Sheldon Burnett person. Where were your children doing this?
I don't think I had them yet.
Hmm?
I don't think I had them yet.
No, this occurred while you were on probation. What do you mean? Didn't this occur while you were already on probation?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, was she already on probation when this happened?
It was 2 months afterward, Judge. She was placed on probation September 2023. This happened December 2023.
So you're already on probation. And you shouldn't have been picking up new cases. Instead of doing what you're supposed to be doing, you decided to go out and break in people's mailboxes. All right, the court is calling 2023 CR 6472 State versus Lisa Telsey. Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it? Are you the same Lisa Shanta Telsey, who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2023 CR 6472 for the offense of assault of a peace officer or judge on September 20th, 2023 for a period of 8 years? Is that you? All right, state.
Violation of condition number 1 on or about the 20th day of December 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Lisa Shanta Telsey, committed the offense of theft, mail, 10 to 30 addresses in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State?
There are no more.
Oh, do you waive the remaining?
Yes.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number one, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number one? Well, so let me just explain something to you. Whatever agreement you worked out with the state, with your counsel, I don't have to follow that agreement. Because this is a contract with the court, it's not a contract between you and the state. So, for example, hypothetically, if the state were to say they want you to be continued, I don't have to continue you. I can send you to prison for up to 20 years. Do you understand?
So,
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number one?
yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court is finding violation. Just one moment, is violation of condition number one in the supplemental?
Uh, the copy that I have, Judge, it just says motion to finish. I don't know if it's gonna take.
I think I was given the wrong one. All right, and that's why you're saying there are no, because I had other conditions. All right. All right, thank you. So is there a proposed agreement?
The proposed agreement for the court's consideration is to alter and amend the defendant's conditions to include residential treatment with state advance.
All right, why should I follow this? Because she was with Rosetta's Key. Am I correct? Probation?
Yes, Judge.
Was she with Rosetta's Key before?
Yes, Judge.
Was she ever with Apple Home?
I don't.
All right, so what happened with Rosetta's Key?
I was going there that, when I went to my probation, the last time the cops had arrested me for the old charge that y'all are, talking about right now.
All right, probation? What are your thoughts on this?
Judge, the court summary, according to the court summary, they do vertical to state ISF, Judge.
I don't think state ISF, well, that, I don't even think that addresses issues.
I know, Judge, that, in the past, we've seen Ms. Kelsey and she has been dishonest, with her officers, and I would like to point out that she completed her anger management. Other than that, Judge, that's all I have.
I mean, well, we were having compliance issues in March. And then she has a new case. I just don't think you should be continued. I don't know why I would continue you on probation. It doesn't appear that you're a good candidate.
And Judge, if I can address, I guess, the timeline regarding the new
Yes.
offense.
Yes.
She was placed on probation in September of 2023. The offense date on that new charge is December 2023, but it wasn't indicted until 2025, I believe. So almost maybe a year and a half, getting close to 2 years later. As I spoke with the court this morning before we broke, I have seen a change in Ms. Telsey from previous times when I represented her. Initially, my thinking with her was she wasn't very serious about probation, about what she needs to do to be successful on probation. But this morning, it seems like she wants to kind of get things in order. I know it's taken a few times of coming before the court to get to that mindset, but it seems and appears that that's where she is right now, where she wants to get back on the straight and narrow. She's still young. She does have a small child out there that hopefully eventually she can reunite with. But I think she has to get past her issues she's had in terms of making poor choices and poor decision making. So I understand the court's reservation in continuing her, but I still think Ms. Telsey is salvageable in terms of completing her probation and being a successful human being in society.
State,
Yes, Judge.
what are your thoughts?
Judge. Ms. Chelsea has been here multiple times, and I don't know what it's gonna take to correct her criminal behavior. Is there any thoughts?
All right, thank you. All right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to make a ruling today. Counsel, you can see if felony drug court is willing to accept her. So, Ms. Abrams, on her, I'm not going to make a ruling today. Can you all see if felony drug court would accept her? David Woodard would look into it.
With that, Judge, I just have other concerns. She was placed on the high risk caseload back in March. And even after that, it seemed we had still some dishonesty and just not being compliant in certain things. I know that felony drug court is very, very strict on everything, and I just don't know that I don't know that she would be successful there, Judge.
Your thoughts? Felony drug court is extremely strict. And they are more strict than I am with regards to my conditions.
I feel like I can do it.
So, I mean, I haven't made a decision. I'm not going to make a decision. I'm going to see first whether or not Mr. Woodard, whether or not felony drug court will accept her.
Okay, Judge.
So if you can look into that, then we can come back. And I'm going to recall this for sentencing. Oh, Norma, let me see. Norma, can you recall this for the week of? Let's put it for, are you available, Mr. Woodard, on June 12th?
I am, Judge.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, if we can recall this for June 12th for sentencing. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, you may be excused. All right, who's here on Roman Flores?
Here, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Afternoon, Judge.
Afternoon. Who's the interpreter here for? Okay,
Deputy, do you want my
All right.
line up?
yes.
Coming up.
All right, let me pull this up. 1 second.
Oh.
Megan.
All right, Mr. Flores.
It's not gonna bother me.
All right, today,
Yeah.
I have you all listed for plea deadline date.
That's a mistake, Judge. And I think what happened was this,
Okay,
last,
so another judge did that. Okay.
well, yeah, so I think what happened was last time that we were supposed to be in court, I was in trial. I've been in trial for the last 6 weeks, so it's been a little hectic. Because I saw that too, and I couldn't figure out why. Today's the first day we've actually received a plea offer.
Okay.
Also, Your Honor, I found out he has another first degree felony, which I didn't realize was out there. It's a dope case, but I was gonna ask to see if we can consolidate down to one attorney. We have a global offer we're kind of working on, and we'll have a decision for you by next time whether or not we're gonna need a trial or if this is gonna be a plea.
All right. Do you want to bring it back the week of June 23rd or the week of July 7th?
Let's take a look. If we can do it before the week of June 23rd works, only day I won't be here is the 27th of
All
that
right.
week.
Ms. Ferguson, do you have room for the week of June 23rd? What date?
The 23rd.
That works?
All right, we'll see you back on the 23rd.
All right, thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Okay. We talking again. Have we talked about first? What happened with that one? All right. I have no doubt, obviously, I've messed something up on this.
Yes.
Yeah. That's fine. If Robert wants to take the ball, that's fine. But
Yes.
just makes sense.
Galloway answered my question. Thank you.
Okay.
Good first call. So bad. Thank you, Norma. I'll let you know.
Court is calling 2025 CR 003823 State versus Charles Fleming. Could I have parties announced?
Megan Galloway for the state.
Michael DeLeon for Mr. Fleming.
And are you Mr. Fleming?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor. Yes.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Fleming, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication with your attorney?
Yes.
Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes,
Mr. Fleming, did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of obstruction or retaliation as a third-degree felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes,
If
ma'am.
you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in the prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Mr. Fleming, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yeah.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at $1,000 and the state recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
It is, Your Honor.
State?
it is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No motions, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your term of supervision be for 3 years. There be a TAP evaluation, community service restitution hours, no contact with 1818 Martin Luther King Drive, no contact with Kiana Bernardo or Bernard Drive, anger and hostility management course. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
State offer states one in attachment.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, state you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court deferred finding the guilty as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor, and
It-
we were gonna ask the court, he's not working currently because he's been in custody for the past, what, 2 months?
Since December 30th.
Since December 30th. If there was any part of the fine, they could be probated.
All right, so what was going on with you on this day?
Really what happened, I'm not sure who that lady is, I just got here and I was in the process of I was walking around looking for buying a house. I got hypoglycemia, my blood sugar started I started feeling crappy. And I figured if I sat at the bus stop, I can get on the bus until I see something to go in and buy to eat or drink, and then I can get out and then go buy something to eat or drink, and I was feeling really crappy. And as far as work and stuff like that, I don't have my state ID
No,
or
no. I'm trying to get back to why did this happen? Because,
I don't know. I had low blood sugar and I was feeling really crappy. And in my whole life, I just remember like 12 to 18 days I've been here. I just had the cops constantly stop me and ask for my name, my social security number, my birthday, like that. And the same officer that arrested me that evening stopped me that morning at church and just got all of my information. That's why I was like, no, I'm not telling you information because I just gave it to you this morning and you guys keep following me around and harassing me. So, and I'm just trying to buy a house and move down here with and married to my fiance. And it's just annoying, and I'm having low blood sugar issues already on top of that. So I did.
I don't understand how you go to, I'm looking for a house and then you end up at the bus stop.
I was out walking around looking for a house to buy because that's why I was wearing it. It felt good out, wasn't it chilly or nothing like that. And I was out walking around looking for a house to buy.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said it felt good outside and it wasn't really chilly or nothing like that. That's why I was just wearing a jacket and all. It was like December 30th, like I said. And I was out walking around because I don't know San Antonio that well, Command Dallas, but she's from here. And then so I was just walking around looking, for a place to live that looked nice. And then so like I said, I don't know the area. I just started feeling really crappy because my low blood sugar hit me. And then I just seen a bus stop sitting right there and well, I can't keep walking because I feel crappy because of low blood sugar. So I just sat there and then all of a sudden 3 police SUVs and a police van showed up and then I just ended up here.
And whose house were you staying?
My fiance's, I don't know the exact address, that's no on Nagalita Street, I don't know the area that well, but stay over there at their uncle's until we get a place.
Mhm.
He didn't know the complainant in this particular case, who he called about, suspicious person.
Right, and what are the tattoos on the knuckles about?
It literally just says self-made.
Wait a minute, do that again, I'm sorry. That says self-made, am I?
Russian.
Oh, okay. Do you speak Russian?
You thought it was liberal,
No, I mean, that's either yes or no. You do?
but
You go to school for that? How do you speak Russian?
I do a lot of things, and then lineage and stuff like that. And then I did I got a bunch of financial certifications and different stuff like that. And so I did a lot of business and stuff like that.
Did you go to school for Russian or what?
Business deals, things like that.
All right, business deal.
You could Google Fleming stock, current value of Fleming stock, and have something pop up. Or if you call that number on there for I don't know, I got money in every bank in the city. I just can't get to it in here. You Google Fleming Frost instead of Fleming.
So it's you're saying if I Google Fleming Frost?
Yeah, Frost Bank or Fleming AI or Fleming Commercial, Stonehenge Fleming, or Commercial Bank of Fleming or Fleming Financial Services or pretty much Fleming anything. Current value of Fleming stock, Fleming Island, Fleming yachts, Fleming jets. I really work hard. I literally take stuff and cybersecurity stuff, all kinds of stuff like that.
So the commercial bank of Fleming, is that something
Yeah,
you own?
Yeah, I work hard. I just literally need a state ID and social security card and 3 pieces of mail And when I do that, like if you call 1-800-432-1000 account.
Wait, what's the number again?
1-800-432-1000, it's Bank of America. If you put my social security number in there, they're gonna want you to open an account. And whenever I get my ID and stuff like that, when I walk in there and I'm gonna, whatever probation costs, I'm just gonna pay it off all at once and I'm gonna buy a house. That's why I said I do very well. I'm just gonna walk around and whatever looks nice, I'm just gonna buy it. I don't have to think.
So you own, so the bank,
Fleming Zillow, you could Google Fleming
Okay.
Zillow.
so I'm just trying to make sure I follow your story. So the bank you own is the bank, Commercial Bank of Fleming?
Yeah, and Stonehenge Fleming's another one, Fleming Steakhouse in this town, they own a bunch, like a bunch of stuff.
All right, and the Fleming restaurant, that's you?
Yeah, Fleming.
And is it Fleming Frost Bank or?
No, like, instead of like, okay, so the reason why is, so like, April 19th, 2023, like when AI got really big, you Google Fleming AI to combat its private sector, it will tell you the current value. I signed a commercial entity contract providing 230 banks with liquidity pools. So like after, like, I did it, so pretty much any financial institution you Google, you can Google my name first and it'll pop up, or like, I do a lot of stuff. I have Fleming Financial Services, you can type my last name in the app store on your phone, and there'll be a bunch of apps pop up, like Fleming Steakhouse will be one of the apps. A bunch of stuff I do. I literally work really hard, and I do everything I can not to get in trouble. I just literally need a state ID and social security card, and I literally
All right, so,
help the city a lot.
Mr. DeLeon,
Yes,
are you aware of your client's ownership of banks?
I'm not. I'm going off the information he's telling me.
Yeah, I literally don't have no way to get it. I need help. Like like you call the bank right now, Bank of America, like, and you put my social when they answer, because if you put my social in, they'll tell you you want an authenticated account. When I talk to her, she'll just say, I need a state ID, a social security card, and 3 pieces of mail, and I walk in there and and then that 9393940230809, that number's attached to it, but that got turned off, and then the onswipe.7.
Let me ask you this. So do you understand what you're charged with today?
Yeah,
All right, what are you charged with today?
obstruction justice or obstruction/retaliatory.
All right, so you understand what's going on and you understand what your attorney does?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Have you ever received any type of mental health diagnosis or no? In the past?
I think I'm lying.
Hmm?
You think I'm lying about?
No, what I will tell you is anybody who comes before me, I don't know them, right?
Right.
Because if I knew them, I wouldn't be hearing the case.
Right.
So this is just me learning more about you because I'm going to ask you if you have any children. So let's start there then. Do you have any children?
I want to be a dad very much and husband. I'm supposed to be getting married on the 7th. And I just kind of disappeared away from the person on December 30th.
So do you have any children currently?
No,
All right. Have you ever used any type of drugs in the past?
in the past, yes.
All right, and what would that be?
I've used weed, and meth in the past. Meth, it's been years. Weed, sometime last year, probably October and November is the last time I smoked any weed.
And have you ever had any type of mental health diagnosis or,
I got Asperger's syndrome, but it's just a communication disorder. It's a form of
oh, no,
autism.
no,
That's
I
it.
understand about that. Well, have you ever had to take medication for anything for mental health?
I take like stuff to help me sleep, and then like I've taken stuff for like anxiety before. Other than that,
All right, do you have any family here other than the person you say you're going to marry?
on the little bit of family I have left is like in this little bit town called Chaffin, Missouri.
All right. Anything else, Mr. DeLeon?
Nothing, Judge.
Probation, what do you recommend to help Mr. Fleming?
I think, I would recommend putting a mental health evaluation on their judge, a TAP evaluation. I don't know the facts of the case, but
Yes.
and on the fee agreement, anger management, hostility management board.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication. There's $1,000 fine that will be probated. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular UAs, the TAP evaluation. I'll have that done out of custody. If you miss any of these appointments, you're going to be in custody. Do you understand?
Yeah, could you just make sure I get the, like, the addresses and stuff like that, cause I'm.
They'll make sure they have that.
Yeah,
We'll get your copy. of it.
There's to be 120 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order the anger and hostility management course. Once he completes that, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's been no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no residency with minors. There's to be no contact with 1818 Martin Luther King Drive. And there's to be no contact with Kyana, Kyana, Varnado, Varnador. And there's to be field visits 1 time per month until further notice. Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court? Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
yes,
All right, we can go off the record. So probation will give you the information you need in order for you to get your identification and everything, okay? All right, if there's something that else that you need help with, just let the court know and we'll see what we can do, okay?
This, at least a state ID, a social security card, and then how to get to the SA.
Well, I will tell you, they will give you the information, but you're gonna have to do it yourself. Like, for example, they're not gonna walk with you to get your license, but they'll give you the information. And they may be able to have some nonprofits that can help you more with that, okay?
Yeah, if I can get someone that just like help in that kind of sense until like I can get into it, that would be great.
Okay.
That would be
We're
great.
gonna work with you.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's have a seat.
All right, anyone else ready?
I've got Jarivas next. It's a first setting. Then I talked to my client who. needs
Is
the
that the
interpreter.
one you need to talk to? Is that the one that has the interpreter?
Yeah, Cervantes, he's in the box.
Oh, if you want to go ahead and do Mr. Cervantes first and talk with him so I can let the interpreter. lead. All right, thank you. And yeah, this is one where they. All right, thank you. All right, Deputy, Patrick Washington? Is there a Patrick Washington over there? Who's over
They
there?
brought him over because we exceeded the number and he was not in our docket. He was one of the ones that was on our docket. Well,
Who's
I
that?
think it was- Judge, and I think that they don't like, actually. Let me ask you which one. Thursday.
All right, let me see the file on Patrick Washington. And I will. Get him on Thursday's docket. He's supposed to be doing a bench trial, isn't he?
No, Judge, I think that would agree. That's this, I think, so he has a trial date.
Mhm.
I believe we do have the agreement worked out, and so that's the purpose of it's set for plea deadline.
Okay.
Did we have no mail out here?
Marmea?
Yeah, he's in off.
All right, let me see. Once I get those files, I'll take care of it. And who is his attorney?
Mr. Porter, Robert Porter.
All right. I will take that up. No problem. And was he having an issue?
Yes.
Mr. Marmea, come down. How are you doing?
Good, President.
All right, so look, when you brought over, you can't be causing problems. You understand? How old are you?
I was an older man trying to get into an aggressive speaking over there and all this other things.
Here's the thing, that's why the buzzer is there, but you can't be getting into altercations
I
with,
didn't find nobody.
Hmm?
I didn't find nobody.
what?
I didn't find nobody in.
No, here's the thing, you were brought over. I want you to listen to me and hear me clearly. You were brought over. There were some issues that developed. That's why you were sent back. So what I am telling you is you cannot be doing that because if you get into a fight at the jail, or if something else is going on where you're being disruptive, if you have a jury trial, and if you were to be found guilty at jury trial, all of the write-ups you get at the jail, that's something that can be used in your punishment case. You understand? So don't do that anymore. You understand? Now, your attorney cannot be here today. And the reason why your attorney can't be here is because your attorney is currently in a jury trial. So we're going to recall your case.
You know, for what day?
I'm going to get you a date right now. Ms. Ferguson? Let's recall this for next week. What date? And it's Murmea.
You can do the 9th.
All right, so we're gonna bring you back on the 9th. If your client, yes, if your attorney's jury trial is not completed by then, we may need to reset you, okay? All right, thank you. Do you have any questions? All right, thank you. All right, and could I have Washington's file, please?
Mr. Rios out here.
Okay. All right, are you ready, Mr. DeLeon, on the case with the interpreter?
I am, Judge.
All right, who is the person with the interpreter?
It's Mr. Cervantes, Jose Cervantes.
All right, can I see the file on Cervantes? Yes.
All right, Judge, we were gonna ask for a reset for Mr. Cervantes. We've been negotiating about a plea offer. We're close. Mr. Cervantes still wants to have a discussion with his family about the plea offer. I think we're close, Judge, but we need to verify one little thing with him, so.
All right, Mr. Cervantes, you're up for jury trial tomorrow, so you need to confer with whomever you want to confer with before tomorrow. All right,
Okay. So he would have to contact his family overnight in case he wants to take a plea.
How do I get up, go around talking to them?
that's,
It, how do you talk to people? You make phone calls to your family?
Okay.
One tonight. Okay. Thank you, Judge.
thank you.
What else?
Yeah, no, mi esposa.
Talk to your wife, talk to your family.
Y debo poner el protocolo. So they have to come back to court tomorrow.
Yes, because if we don't make a decision, he's gonna go to trial.
No tengo juicio.
I mean, it's 12 people deciding whether it's guilty or not.
Sí, estoy culpable. Pero necesariamente, ese es el jail.
Okay. Try to make phone calls. I'm gonna try to call your family too. Tonight.
Please.
I will take care of it.
Yo voy a pasar eso.
Okay. Anything else before we lose the interpreter?
Yes, no.
Just 1 second.
Um,
Yes, have a seat. Oh, they'll do it for him now.
yeah, just have a seat.
All right, who's your other client? Rivas?
Yes, Mr. Juan Rivas.
All right, Mr. Rivas?
Oh, no. Judge, with Mr. Rivas, he was taken into custody this afternoon because they believed he had a warrant out of California. We confirmed it is not him out of California.
Oh, my gosh. Well, good for you.
He's dealt with this situation in the past where Homeland Security has talked to him and said, hey,
That's
we
like a
think
life,
you're the bad guy, and they confirmed it's not him, so
that's a lifetime movie in the making.
it sure is. Judge, this is our first sitting on
Hey,
Mr.
you know what?
Rivas.
Because it wasn't me, the Juan Rivas story.
Okay.
You know, they always have weird titles. Well, I'm glad that worked out for you. All right, so first setting.
This is our very first setting, Judge. I have tons of discovery to review. So we're asking for a reset at this point.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, if I can get a 45-day reset. And are there CPS case records? We think?
Are they?
Yes, Your Honor, there are CPS records. We do have them.
And is there any cell phone information?
Not that I'm aware of at this time, Your Honor.
All right. All right, we'll have a discovery on July 17th. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
And lastly, Judge, with Mr. Rivas, eventually he is on a GPS, full GPS monitor. How would the court like to, we would like for him to be able to work. How would the court want us
Do you
to?
have any objection to his working?
I apologize, he's on full house arrest
He's on
GPS
full
right now.
GPS?
Upon approval of a verified job state, I need to speak with the complainant's family, but no immediate.
All right, so if you have employment and you provide proof of employment with your work schedule, then I will approve it.
I'm gonna have to find a job. They kind of
Okay.
let me go, so.
All right,
Yeah.
just whenever you have one.
We'll figure that out.
All right, thanks.
All right, Judge.
Who is here on Mr. Cummings?
Have a seat, then we'll have you sign this.
Your Honor, may I have 1 moment
Sure.
on that case here? They're already ready. Wait till you finish this. I don't think there's any point in this first. You have to, our time is gonna have to show tomorrow. Call him to do this. That's how it's going. I won't try, but it won't be dismissed until he does so much.
Sorry. My protein drink got frozen. All right, the court is calling 2024 CR 009473 State versus Millard Cummings. Mr. Cummings, if you'll come down. Could I have parties announced for the record? State,
Ashley Jones.
Raymond Martinez for Mr. Cummings.
and are you Mr. Cummings? All right. I have two witnesses on the Zoom. If you both could unmute, please, and raise your right hand for me. I'm just going to go ahead and swear each of you in. And the first person I'm going to swear in is C.S.O. Parker. Do you solemnly swear and affirm that any testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand. And then the next person is Robert Cooney. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm that any testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand. So defense counsel is asking that the rule be invoked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in the waiting room. While you're in the waiting room, you're not allowed to view anything in regards to this case. Does everyone understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I'll put you in a waiting room. I'm sorry. Yes.
I do think we're gonna call Mr. Cooney first.
All right. All right, before we call Mr. Cooney, Mr. Cummings, did you have a chance to review the motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision with your attorney? And did you understand it? All right, you've had a chance to review that with your attorney? Mr. Cummings, have you had a chance to review?
I'm doing it right now.
Okay. All right, have you had a chance to review that with your attorney?
Yes.
Are you saying Millard Darrell Cummings, who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2024 CR 009473 for the offense of assault, family, household, impeding breath or circulation on February 4th, 2025 for a period of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes.
All right. State, which violations are you proceeding on?
We are proceeding on all of them, Your Honor. Would you like me to read them all out?
Mr. Cummings, are you aware of all of the violations?
Sorry,
the motion-
before he goes forward, was it reduced to a misdemeanor or not?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. And so what ended up happening, it was reduced to a misdemeanor. And the last time we were here, the state did an oral amendment to the deferred adjudication to proceed on an assault causing bodily injury family. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that was my mistake. All right. So you are the person who's placed on deferred adjudication for assault causing bodily injury or family. Is that you?
Yes.
And you were placed on deferred adjudication for a period of 2 years on February 4th, 2025. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And then with violations, state, you said you're proceeding on all of the violations?
And yes, Your Honor, I did misspeak. We are not going to proceed on violation condition number 26. That would be proceeding on all of the others.
All right. So with regards to violation of condition number 2, how do you plead to that, true or not true?
Not true.
To violation of condition number 12, how do you plead to that, true or not true?
Not true.
To violation of condition number 21, how do you plead, true or not true?
Not true.
And to violation of condition number 22, how do you plead, true or not true?
Not true.
All right, state, oh, I'm sorry, and to violation of condition number 23, how do you plead, true or not true?
Not true.
All right, state, you may proceed.
Thank you. State Robert Cooney.
All right, Mr. Cooney, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you I'm sorry, you've already been sworn in. State your name for the record.
Robert Cooney.
All right, state, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Cooney, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, and can you please let the court know where you are employed?
Academy, sports and outdoors.
And do you know the address of that academy?
Um, to be honest with you, off the top of my head, I do not know it off the top of my head.
That's okay. Is it located in San Antonio, Texas?
Yes, right off of Perrin Bible.
Oh, and so that would still be Bear County?
Yeah.
All right, and at that academy, what position do you hold?
I'm a firearms associate.
And what does that mean?
I handle and sell firearms.
And to sell firearms, do you have to run a background check?
Yes.
Okay, and would you run a background check without somebody wanting to buy a firearm?
No. They would have to come to us and tell us specifically that they want to buy a firearm.
And speaking to that, on April 10th of 2025, did an individual come to you wanting to buy a firearm?
Yes.
What was that individual's name?
Mr. Cummings. I off the top of my head, I can't remember the first name.
And do you see him in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Okay, and can you point him out by an article of his clothing?
Orange jumpsuit.
The record could reflect that the witness has identified the defendant. All right, and can you tell us about the first interaction you had with Mr. Cummings?
The first interaction was actually um probably about 2 or 3 weeks beforehand. It was not even on that the day of April 10th. Um,
Where was this interaction? Where did this interaction occur?
at the store at the academy. He had come in. I don't remember what time of day it was. Um, but he had come in. Um, saying that he wanted to buy a firearm. I proceeded to ask the usual questions: what firearm? You know, if he had a Texas ID, um, what the gun would be used for, if it's going to be for home defense or concealed carry or anything like that. He had already had a gun picked out. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, and that's what did he answer those questions?
Uh, he answered it kind of, I would say, half answered them. Um, he was not very straightforward for the most part, other than already knew exactly what firearm he wanted. That was the one thing that he was pretty straightforward about, was he already had a firearm in mind that he wanted to purchase.
Do you recall that type of firearm that he wanted to purchase?
Yeah, it was a Ruger LCP 380.
And for those of us not familiar with guns, what type of gun is that?
It's a pistol.
Okay, how many rounds does it hold?
About six, I want to say 6 or 7.
And on this occasion, did he present an ID to you?
He did have a format of ID, just not a ID that I was familiar with myself.
What type of format of ID did he have?
It was some type of county ID, uh, Bear County Correctional or something of that matter. Like I said, it was not a ID that I was familiar with myself.
And after presenting you that ID, what next steps did you take?
Well, since I wasn't familiar with the ID, I did try asking him what kind of ID it was. I noticed that it said county correctional. I'm not from Texas myself. I just got here a few months ago, so I was questioning it. I asked him if it was for, if he was an employee, like a correctional facility employee or anything like that. He didn't really answer that question. Um, at that point, I started calling my manager out. He came out. He himself was not familiar with the ID either. At that point, he kind of took over, started asking him, pretty much the same questions that I was. What kind of ID is it? Um, stuff along that line.
And ultimately, on that day, did he purchase a firearm?
No.
And when he left, what would you say his demeanor was?
I would say definitely seemed, a little irritated, a little confused. Um, he had at some point in the interaction, he had told us that he had been released from jail. Um, he, yeah, he said that he had been released from jail. Um, didn't really give us a time frame, but it had been within a few months from what it seemed like, because he said that was the only ID he had at the time. And like I said, when he was leaving, he was pretty confused, pretty irritated because we told him that he wouldn't be able to sell a gun or be able to purchase a gun. So he was pretty irritated, pretty confused on why we wanted to sell him one.
And moving on to the next interaction you had with him, on what date was that?
That would be the April 10th,
Of what year?
2025.
And would this still be at the academy on Parent Vital?
Yes.
And during that interaction on April 10th, what was that interaction like?
He came in, again, he was pretty straightforward about which firearm he wanted to buy. Um, According to Academy's, I guess you would say, their regulations, when we have a customer come in that, we're unsure about, they do want us to proceed with the interaction as we would with any other customer. So he came in, he wanted to purchase, he knew what he wanted. At that time, I am pretty sure that he presented a change of address form from the DPS, and I proceeded as normal, starting off with, showing him the firearm and starting to get his stuff into the computer system.
And what firearm did he want to purchase this time?
It was still the same firearm.
Okay. And um, what questions were asked of him on April 10th regarding his purchase of that firearm?
Pretty much the same things, his ID, what ID he had, which again would have been a change of address form from DPS. Um, and pretty much the same thing, what is this firearm going to be used for, anything like that, which again, he didn't really clarify. Um, but this interaction was a lot shorter, because again, he came in, he had the correct identification, but he still had kind of the same demeanor that he had the first time, just kind of, you know, I wouldn't say odd, but just off. It wasn't like the usual interaction with the customer.
And you had mentioned that you showed him the firearm. Can you tell us
Mhm.
about that?
So, clearing the weapon, taking it out of the box, clearing the weapon, making sure it's unloaded, um, handing it over so that way he can, physically and visually check the firearm. He hands it back. Uh, I put it back in the box. We go over the serial number, confirming that everything on it is matching on the firearm and the box. And then, like I said, getting him put into the computer system.
And after you get him put into the computer system, what next steps or how did this interaction go after that?
So once I enter his basic info into the system, at that point, that is when he is handed the iPad that we use, and he himself begins the actual 4473 background check.
And after he completes everything in the iPad, I'm assuming he hands it back to you. How long does it take to get that background check back?
It can be hit or miss, but generally it is within 5 to 10 minutes. On for his, I do not remember particularly how long it would have. I don't remember how long it took to get his back.
Can you tell me how the interaction with him on April 10th ended?
Um, I do not remember exactly how it ended. I cannot recall if it came back denied while I was on shift or if it came back later that day. So I wouldn't really be able to tell you other than his I guess you say his mannerisms still just kind of seemed off to me.
And what seemed off?
Just the way he talked, the way he moved around was kind of jittery. I've been selling guns for about 5 years now. So there's just little things like that that, you know, you kind of pick up with somebody that when they're buying a gun.
And to your knowledge, was he successful in actually purchasing the firearm?
He was not.
But again, to your knowledge, since you were the employee handling this, did he ask you to buy a weapon?
He did.
Did he complete paperwork to buy that weapon?
Yes.
And did he handle the weapon that he wanted to buy?
Yes.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, defense.
I'm sorry, sir, could you pronounce your name again for me?
Cooney, Robert Cooney.
I'm sorry, the B's throwing me off. So, Mr. Cooney, is there a way that a person can get a background check other than going through the process you just described?
No, there's not.
So if a person wants to know whether they're gonna be approved, they gotta go through all the steps you just outlined.
Yes.
Because you don't let them go to the final step to do that application process until you've selected a firearm and basically done all the precursors for purchasing a gun, right?
Yep.
But no money ever changed hands in this situation, correct?
There was no money. No.
And matter of fact, you don't even ring them up in the register until the background check is done, correct?
Yep.
So if a person wanted to get an answer to the question whether they qualified to get a gun or not, they would follow the same procedure you just outlined.
Yes.
And if the person comes back, whether he's approved or not approved, at that point, he can decide to complete the transaction or not complete the transaction.
If he is not approved for the firearm, then he has no choice in the matter. He would not be able to, you know, purchase if he did not get approved.
Understood, but even if he was approved, he's not obligated to buy anything at that point.
That's correct. He would not be obligated to.
And in fact, that you would have taken no deposit or a card or cash or anything at that point.
Yep.
So you're assuming he's attempting to buy the gun because he wants to go through this process, when in fact it could be that he just wants to see whether he's gonna get approved or not.
Yeah.
No, that'll be overruled. I understand the objection.
That's all I have, Judge.
All right, any further questions?
No further questions from the state, Your Honor.
All right, is this witness excused?
I think so.
Excuse from the state, Your Honor.
All right, thank you so much for coming in. You're excused.
Thank you.
All right, and is your next witness, CSO Parker?
It is, Your Honor.
All right, CSO Parker, we're ready for you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you've already been sworn in. If you'll just state your name for the record, please.
CSO Aramis Parker.
All right, you may proceed.
Hello, Ms. Parker. Hi. Thank you for coming in today. I did want to talk to you about one of your probationees, Mr. Millard Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you see him in the courtroom today?
Yes, ma'am.
And can you point him out by an article of clothing?
He's wearing orange, top and bottom.
If the record reflects, Ms. Parker has identified the defendant. When did he come to be on your, when did you come to be his probation officer?
He was assigned to probation on February the February the 4th of 2025. And he was assigned to me on that date.
When was your first meeting with Mr. Cummings?
It was on March 14th of 2025.
And on that meeting, did you go over his conditions with him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and would you go over all of his conditions?
Yes, ma'am. All of them.
Okay, and would that include drug testing and the FIT course, the TAP evaluation, and calling into the UA hotline to see if he is required to submit a drug test?
Yes, ma'am. We went over all his conditions, including what you just stated.
And so going to February 14th of I apologize, 2025, on that date or around that date, had the defendant completed his batterers intervention and prevention program?
Do you mean March 14th?
Yes.
Okay. No, March 14th was our first visit. So on our first visit is when we went over everything that was that he signed and agreed to with his conditions. March 14th, he was given his copy of his conditions again and handouts of the classes and the parenting. So he had not completed anything by that date of March 14th.
And to this date, presently, has the defendant completed his batterers intervention and prevention program course?
No, ma'am, not the one that he was ordered to complete. He completed a BIP class that was not approved. He took a class on his own online, but that's not one of the classes that is court approved through 187. So to date, no, ma'am, he has not completed the BIP, the required BIP course.
And what's the difference between the online course he took and the court approved BIP course?
Yes, ma'am. The one that I believe he took online, the one that he emailed me, is 20 hours. I want to say I have to look it up, but I want to say it was like a 20-hour course. I'm not too sure. Please don't quote me that. But the one that he is to take is in person and it's 20 sessions. So it usually takes maybe about 4 to 5 months to complete. But I do want to also mention he did go and register at one of the locations that was on that paper, but he refused to fill out the required documents there. So he was not signed up for that. And he just stated he did what was convenient for him. When I did speak to him in April, he just told me he did what was convenient. So
I'm so sorry to interrupt.
yes, ma'am.
But what you're speaking about is the BIP course?
Yes, ma'am. I'm speaking about BIP. BIP
All
only.
right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so moving on to the TAP evaluation.
Yes,
when
ma'am.
is he scheduled to take that?
The tab was for April the 9th of 2025.
And did he attend his TAP evaluation?
No, ma'am, he did not.
And have you spoken to him since that date?
Since April the 9th? Yes, ma'am. He had an office visit on April the 14th. The last time sorry, go ahead.
Did he provide a reason for not attending the TAP evaluation?
So I actually scheduled him to come see me that same day after his TAP. When I asked him about on the 14th, he didn't give a valid reason. He didn't say why he missed it or anything. He did not give me a reason on why he missed it.
And so talking about the UA line, can you tell us what that is?
It's what it is a line. He will be, it's called Century, the program. He's put into the system. He's given instructions on that he has to call this number every day, and it tells him the date and time that he has to call. And then when he calls, it will let him know if he needs to go take a drug test that day. So he has to call that every day.
And did he call every day that he was required to?
He did not call. No, ma'am, he did not call every day.
And did he call on March 17th of 2025?
Can I look at my notes?
Yes.
Okay. March 17th of 2025, he did not call.
On March 21st of 2025, did he call?
He did not call. March 21st, no, ma'am, he did not call.
On March 24th of 2025, did he call?
March 20. He did not call.
On March 28th of 2025, did he call?
He did not call.
On March 31st of 2025, did he call?
March 31st?
Yes.
No, ma'am, he did not call.
On April 4th of 2025, did he call?
No, ma'am, he did not call.
On April 7th, 2025, did he call?
No, ma'am.
On April 11th, 2025, did he call?
No, ma'am.
And on April 14th, 2025, did he call?
No, ma'am.
What about April 16th of 2025?
No, ma'am.
And was he ever required to submit to drug testing? Or to
So-
submit a drug test?
Sorry. So he is, so because he's on his UA line, it tells him when to drug test. So he wasn't, I didn't send him for a drug test because he's on this line to call. So by the time I saw him on April the 14th, once we discussed everything, I did not send him for a drug test, no ma'am. Because he's on this UA line. So usually when they're on the UA line, they'll let them know when to take the drug test.
On March 19th, did it let him know to go take a drug test?
Yes, ma'am, it did. Sorry, let me confirm that. I'm sorry, March. My paper is a little small. Yes, ma'am, it instructed him on March the 19th to go take a drug test.
Did the defendant go and take a drug test on that date?
No, ma'am, he did not.
And on what date did you, I apologize, let me recheck that. How would you describe Mr. Cummings as a probationee?
Mr. Cummings, our first visit, very polite. He was receptive to the information. He appeared to understand everything I gave him. He did have it appeared that he was upset about something that happened prior to probation. He kept trying to talk to me about something with Medicare and some rights being taken away. So he just appeared to be really angry about something that's happened prior to probation. So I had to rear him a lot to just focus on what's at hand, and I couldn't control what happened before. So he just appeared to have a lot of anger in him. It wasn't directly to me. I never felt, it was ever directed towards me. I just think it's just something in his past that was bothering him. But we only got to meet three times, April, or 2 times, excuse me, only got to meet. So we really haven't built a rapport, but in the couple of times I met him, he was always respectful. He was never disrespectful. He's just appears to have, trouble following the directives that was given to him.
Would he ever, how would you describe his punctuality?
He was always late, at least an hour or two late to his appointments. So he wasn't punctual for his appointments.
And for these violations that we've gone over today, would those have occurred here in Bexar County, Texas?
Yes, his violations, yes, ma'am, in Bexar County.
At this time, Your Honor, I will pass witness.
All right, defense.
So Ms. Parker, first question is how do you know whether or not he called into the UA line?
There's a report that is ran on Century. You can run a report and you can put the dates. And so from the date that we put him in and from current date, if we would like, it'll say call missed. And if it says yes, that means that he did not call in. So the only ones that are going to say no is the ones that are on the weekend because he's not required to. So the report that's provided on Century lets you know. And if he does call in, it will tell you exactly the time that he called in. It'll give you a time as well.
Does he have any instances where he did call in? Is my question.
He did not. He did not call in at all. If I can say that on one of my violation reports, I put that he did call in, but I was mistaken because that was a weekend and I read the report wrong. So as far as ever calling in, he did not. And even when in our office visit in April, I asked him why he hadn't called in and he just said he had a lot going on.
So you said that you asked him to report on the same day that he had his TAP evaluation, correct?
Yes, sir. I believe on that same day, he had a original appointment. And I might be, if I can look at my notes real quick, I believe he had an appointment on that day, just his regular report date. I believe it was that same day, but I can double check that real quick if you would like. Is that fine? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Let me look real quick. No, it was on April the 11th. It wasn't the same day. His TAP appointment was April 9th, and then he was to come report to me on April the 11th.
Okay, so the violation that he missed his TAP on the 11th is actually incorrect.
It's not the TAP. He missed his TAP on April the 9th.
Okay, well, that's what I
He
mean.
did miss his TAP on April the 9th. He didn't show to that appointment at 8 a.m. His TAP.
So he did not have a TAP on the 11th.
No, ma'am. No, sir. Excuse me. He did not have a TAP on the 11th.
Okay, but he did show up to his reported meeting on the 11th.
He showed up 2 hours late. Yes, sir. And then I was actually leaving for the day, and he was instructed to come back April the 14th, in which he did.
Okay, so and he completed a BIP class, but not the one that he was supposed to take.
Yes,
correct?
sir. Yes, sir. He completed an online course.
Has he also completed a parenting class?
He did complete the parenting class after the first time he completed it, it was an incorrect class. And then when I told him that that wasn't what was approved, he did go back and do the correct class. Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have a probationer that seems to be able to comply with certain conditions, but is missing on some others.
Yes, sir.
Did you notice that maybe there was a possibility that there was some things that he was processing and understanding and other things that he wasn't?
No, sir. He understood everything the first visit. He was provided with all the handouts, which specifically told him exactly where he needed to go and call to take the classes. We also communicated via email, so he had it in his email as well. So I don't think there was any confusion on if he can complete this or not.
Okay, and where is he supposed to go to submit to the drug test?
He has two options. He could submit here at my office in Crestway, or he can go downtown to their main location. So he had two locations he can submit.
And it's your belief that he had that information?
Yes, sir. He had that information. That he's given a handout that has the addresses and the times.
And then on calling in, do you have records of him actually making some calls, just not all at once?
No calls at all.
Okay.
No calls. The record shows no calls at all.
Now, did you inform him that he had a motion to revoke that was filed against him?
I do inform them. That is our protocol. Yes, sir.
Are you aware that he tried to surrender himself to take care of that warrant in the courthouse?
I was not aware.
He hasn't been in contact with you since then?
He has not been in contact with me. No. When he was informed of it, he sent an email. He didn't acknowledge the email that he had a warrant. He just responded with he made a payment and he sent his class again. And then he had some other things in the email, but he never I hadn't had a face-to-face visit with him since I told him.
So, Ms. Parker, what is the impression or feeling that you have about Mr. Cummings as a probationer when you see him actively trying to submit information to you, actually complying with a condition or two, but then totally missing certain others, but then submitting himself to the court when he knows he's got a motion to revoke? There just seems to be a contradiction there. What do you think about that?
I believe that Mr. Cummings, it's some thinking errors there. I do believe, I don't know, I can't really answer why he's not following the directives given to him. But I believe he has the potential to follow him. I just don't understand why he didn't. So I don't really know how to answer that question, but it seems as though he did make an effort. But why he chose to go a different route, I don't know. He just told me what he did, what was convenient for him. He did question a lot of things as far as like, why do I have to do this? Why do I have to do that? Which we answered that, but I do believe he has the potential to follow. It's just he just chose not to. But I do commend him for, turning himself in and taking care of what he needed to do. I do commend him for that. And to say that he didn't report, he never just not reported. It was just always a late a late route. So
All right.
I do
any
believe he
further
made the effort, but
No further questions from the state, Your Honor.
All right, I have one question, if
Yes,
there's no
ma'am.
objection.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Judge, I asked the one I forgot, and then.
All right, yes.
Uh,
Maybe your question is my question.
Can you let the court know, Ms. Parker, if he's made any payments towards his probation?
I can check for you right now, sir. He made one payment on April the 11th for $500.
All right, that's not the question I have. Any objections to my asking
No,
the
no,
question?
no, Judge.
Not from the state, Your
All
Honor.
right, so I have a question about his conditions of probation.
Yes,
I'm
Judge.
usually very technical. So I understand, I see that the state is saying that he attempted to purchase a handgun as one of his violations of probation. So the question I have is part of his conditions is that he's not to attempt to purchase a handgun? Does anyone know?
I think it's, he can't possess one is what I've always thought the condition was.
1 second, Judge. I am going to pull that up right now. Okay, condition 12 just says you shall not purchase, receive, possess, or transport any weapon, including but not limited to a club, explosive weapon, firearm, ammunition, illegal knife, martial arts weapon, brass knuckles, or chemical dispensing device during your term of community supervision.
So there's nothing there that says you're not allowed to attempt.
You shall not purchase.
All right,
That's the wording. You shall not purchase.
okay. All right, is there any other questions?
Not from the state, Your Honor.
Any other questions?
No, no.
All right, is this witness excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can be excused. Officer Parker, you can stay on to see what the court decision is going to be.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other witnesses?
Not from the state, Your Honor.
Defense, any witnesses?
Just Mr. Cummings.
All right, Mr. Cummins, if you can raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Marlon Durrell Cummings.
All right, you may proceed.
So, Mr. Cummings, you are aware of and you understand the fact that you cannot possess weapons on probation, is that right?
Yes,
Did you in fact surrender some weapons when you got placed on probation?
yes.
And how many weapons did you have that you got rid of?
Well, for
And how did you dispose of those?
just took it to the marshal.
So you sold.
All of them. Yes, sir.
So you heard the gentleman from Academy testify. What was it you were trying to accomplish by that process at the Academy?
I had showed him my very county jail card just so that he could understand exactly that I just got out, and at the same time that I was trying to figure out exactly what's going on with my background. I've been in trouble over 15 years, and even beforehand, I had spoke to him. I told him that I had just left from the police station where I was trying to get that information, and that they had sent me to Nacalitos to see about my property, because I never knew what exactly was on in my property. At that point, they did a background check, and at that point, I got online at the DPS and used my driver's license and my CHL to try to figure out exactly what's going on. At that point, then I went to okay.
And you said CHO, you in the past have had a concealed handgun license, is that right?
Yes,
And but obviously couldn't use it during your term of probation.
exactly.
So in filling out all that paperwork, were you attempting to discern you were still disqualified? What was why was it that you did not understand what your status was?
I just wanted to just go through the process of just really just trying to understand exactly what was the holdup at the police station for my property, because they were saying that was going to take like 6 months to a year or something like that. So that's why, I was just trying to really get like up to date, because I felt like, I had property there that, I would like to see exactly what's there. They wasn't giving me that information.
Now, did you understand about the UA line having to call in and then if they say it's your day, you have to go get tested?
Yes, I was told that since I wasn't arrested for drugs, that I could just call And at that point, if they felt that it was needed for me to take a drug test, I would take a drug test.
Okay, but you understand Ms. Parker says you're not even calling in.
Yes,
Is it that you just slipped your mind, or you didn't really understand the instructions?
I was just new to like I was just new to probation and just having a whole lot going on and stuff like that, trying to place a roof over my head and stuff like that, you know.
And I suggested to the court that, in terms of saying, you actually hired me to come and try to get you your bond set and all that business, is that right?
Yes,
And then on the day that I asked you to come so we can meet the judge and talk about that, they actually, you got ahead of me and went to the satellite booking office, and that's when they took you into custody.
yes,
Okay, so that was
yes,
an idea of you walked in the wrong room at the wrong time. But you were in the courthouse for the purpose of dealing with the warrant, correct?
yes.
Okay, so are you asking the court today to reinstate you and give you a restart on your probation so you can comply?
I'm just looking just for some help. Me being on probation and me being a homeowner and going through the situation and having a warrant for my arrest, you know, haven't been able to be at home. I'm just trying to keep my home because of a foreclosure like I have from going through a theft situation. Police reports have been provided already for that, but so by me, I'm just looking for help at this point.
That's what it's judge.
State?
For the record, Your Honor. Mr. Cummings,
Yes,
do you recall entering your plea to this case back in February of this year?
yes,
Do you recall the judge going over all the terms of your probation with you?
yes,
Did you understand the affirmative finding that was entered?
yes,
You understood that that affirmative finding meant that you could not attempt to purchase a gun, weapons, or anything like that?
yes,
Okay. Do you recall meeting with Ms. Parker, your CSO?
yes,
At that point, did she go over all the connections with you as well?
yes.
Did you ask her any questions?
Yes.
And what were those questions related to?
She gave me all the she gave me good answers and I understood.
So you understood all the terms of your probation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now you mentioned that you were wanting to determine the status of the background check. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you feel like there was any other place you could go to try and get that done other than Academy?
I went to the police station and I went to the to where the other police station have over there for not to. Because I did it online. I did it online too. Before going to Academy.
So you did those three things before going to Academy.
Yes.
So what was the need to go to Academy if you already gone through 2 law enforcement agencies and online?
They wasn't able to give me that information.
Okay, and you felt like Academy would give you the information you needed?
Yes.
Okay. Do you feel that it was a good idea to try and purchase a gun while you're on probation?
I wasn't trying to purchase.
Did you, well, if you weren't trying to purchase it, did you handle that gun while you were there?
If you were to see the video, I told them like, you know, like I'm fine. I didn't really recall it, really touch it. So if I did touch it, I'm for sure video you would see me go, you know, okay, like, cause I didn't really need to touch it.
Okay, so you never held the gun in your hand at all?
I really don't recall. I don't recall just.
Well, let me ask you this. What you don't recall, do you recall going the first day that the Mr. Cooney testified to?
Well, the thing about that, I was trying to remember. So, I filled the form out 2 times. I thought you said it was 1 time. I thought you said the first time I just showed him my Bexar County license and I didn't have my ID and stuff like that, which I did. Y'all gave it to me when I got.
Well, let me ask you this. You do recall going there on 2 separate occasions, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. No further questions, I'll pass it.
Any other questions? Any other questions?
I think that was it, Judge.
All right. The court will hear argument, and before I hear argument, this is what clarification needs to be given to the court. I think it's clear that violations of conditions 2, 21, and 22 are true. Now, I'm taking in consideration, of course, the fact that with regards to the BIP, he took a different BIP, he turned that in. So I'm weighing that, but it is true that he didn't take the BIP course that was required of him. What I'm saying is not true is number 23, the failure to attend the TAP evaluation, because the witness testified that the date for that is not the correct date. Number 26, that was waived by the state defense. I forgot to ask you, with regard to that, do you have any objections to the state's waiver of number 26?
I do not, Judge.
All right, so this is what the court's issue is, the one that's the quandary. The attempt to purchase of a weapon. Based upon the evidence that I've heard, he attempted to purchase a weapon. We can say he was in there to see, oh, let me see if I would qualify to get a weapon. But I think regardless of whether he was going in, whatever his purpose was, it was still an attempt at purchase. So the question becomes whether or not attempting to purchase a weapon is a violation of his probation. And to determine that, there needs to be an express condition that says he's not allowed to attempt to purchase a weapon. Now, if it were to be a new number 1, attempt to purchase a weapon or something of that nature, then it would be an easy decision for the court. But it's not listed as a new number 1. It's just listed that he attempted to purchase a weapon. So if you all can hone in, and maybe the witness has some more information on whether or not it expressly states in his conditions of probation that he is not allowed to attempt to purchase a weapon. That's what I need to know. I believe the witness testified that that's not a part of his conditions of probation. What she read to the court is he's not to possess a weapon. She named certain weapons he can't possess, the brass knuckles, the firearm, but I didn't hear anything about an attempt to purchase.
And Your Honor,
And I'll hear that.
I'll speak to that.
Yes.
So the condition specifically states the defendant is not allowed to purchase a handgun. To complete that purchase, he would have to pass the background check, which he can't do because he's on probation. And so I believe that is why it's listed as attempt to purchase. He would never legally be allowed to purchase the weapon, but they do prevent him from doing that.
Some places they do let people purchase a weapon even though they're not supposed to. I understand what the state is saying, but conditions of probation need to reflect that, because everybody's going on what the terms that are in the conditions of probation. Does he know that he's not supposed to attempt to purchase a weapon? Yes, but we're dealing with what the conditions are in his conditions of probation, because that's a contract.
And Your Honor, if you would like, I can ask the witness some follow-up questions. To see if she
Sure.
has anything.
I mean, because I think that's one major point for all of this. And I think that's why everybody has red flags, because there's an attempt here to purchase a weapon. But yes, if you would like any objections to reopening for more information from the officer.
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Parker, you're still under oath?
Yes.
Ms. Parker, were you hearing the judge's concerns just now?
I do hear her concerns, yes. It does read, you shall not purchase, receive, possess, or transport. The condition does not say you should not attempt. That's correct. But I also agree that because he didn't purchase, because the background check didn't go through, that's probably why, I assume that's why it wasn't purchased. But the conditions does not say he cannot attempt.
And that would be just the state's argument to that condition, Your Honor.
Judge, there's always a possibility that they said, yes, you can buy it. He said, I don't really want it. Now I know that I can. Maybe I'll do it some other day. He could have just walked away from it.
Well, I think this is a situation where maybe the conditions of probation need to be reworked to put in there that you cannot attempt to purchase or possess these other things. because,
And Your Honor, I will also speak to the violation of condition number 23. I know that Ms. Parker testified it was on April 9th, not April 11th. However, that is why we have the honor about language on there.
Yeah, yes, I'm sorry about that. I misspoke. I said April 9th. His TAP appointment was Friday, April 11th. I misspoke on the date. I apologize. I misspoke on that date. His TAP was Friday, April 11th at 8 a.m. and he did not show on that date.
all
I
right,
did- I did
there's a
misspeak. on that.
correction for the court then.
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am.
Violation, this is what the court is finding true. The court is finding violation of condition number 2, which states that he didn't take his drug test. The court is finding that is true. Court is finding violation of condition number 21, that he did not enroll in the BIPP course as true. The court does understand that he took a different course that was not the intensive course that the BIPP is, and the court ordered the BIPP course. The court is finding violation of condition number 22, not calling the UA hotline. The court is finding that true. The court is finding violations condition number 23 true. That's the TAP evaluation. The court is finding violation of condition number 12, not true. The attempt to purchase a handgun. The court does find that he attempted to purchase a handgun, but the court is finding that that was not a violation of his conditions of probation, because that was not one of the conditions of probation. The court is finding number 26, the state waived, so the court is not ruling on that. Any questions about the court's findings?
No, Your Honor.
Just argument on punishment, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, and then so that the record can be clear, according to the judgment, the defendant is on deferred adjudication for assault causing bodily injury family as a Class A misdemeanor. Both parties had no objection to the state amending the defendant's motion to revoke to read that the defendant was placed on deferred adjudication for assault causing bodily injury family on February 4th, 2025 for 2 years. All right, the court will hear argument.
Yes. So given that this defendant has been on probation, he was put on probation on February 4th of 2025. Pretty immediately, as the court has found true on multiple violations, the defendant has not done what he was supposed to do on probation. He has instead done, as Ms. Parker stated, what's convenient for him. It was not convenient for him to do the TAP evaluation because he did not want to submit any UAs as he did on March 19th. And as he never called in to do the random UA hotline to see if he was required to submit to any drug testing. Additionally, he did not do the BIP and the BIP class. He did the BIP class that was most convenient for him, which is 20 hours. That's vastly different than the 4 to 5 month long in-person BIP course that is required by the court. Additionally, Your Honor, I do understand that the court did not find a violation of condition number 12 true. However, the court did find that the defendant did attempt to purchase a firearm, and that is concerning given the type of offense that this defendant is on probation for. That is a huge red flag to the state, Your Honor. I understand that the defendant is saying that he went in there to get a background check. If that's the case, he said he filled out the form twice in his testimony. So on that first visit, that could have been, his denial, but he went back a second time. And the only reason for going back a second time, Your Honor, and handling that weapon a second time and knowing exactly what kind of gun he wanted to purchase for the second time was so that he could buy that firearm. And that is a danger that is directly against the affirmative finding of family violence. And that presents himself to be a danger to this community and not only to the complainant as well. And so for that, Your Honor, given the red flags that this defendant has posed while he has been on probation for the 2 months that he was on probation before this motion to revoke probation came out, the state is asking that he be terminated and sentenced to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail.
Right, defense?
Judge, it's totally understandable why people will say there's red flags, but the real issue is what's behind all that. Is this a case where we really need to be concerned? Or is it just on its face appear to be dangerous? Because we have conflicting evidence in this case. He's only been on probation 2 months. March and April, well, 3, May. And he did the wrong bib class, but he did a bib class. He did the parenting class, which was the correct class. He did go to his orientation. He's just reporting as he's supposed to. When he found out he had the MTR, he responded to the probation and said, "This is what I've done." And then he got with me to try to resolve the MTR. So he's not doing it perfectly. I would disagree with that. When he went the first time, he never got an answer about whether he qualified or not. They just didn't run him. They didn't run him until the second time. Then he found out he couldn't, and he didn't. And that was the end of it. And good question by counsel. Why didn't you get that information somewhere else? Because they wouldn't give it to him. He went to actually 3 other places. And the place on Nogalitos, what he's talking about is actually the property room, which they don't have that information, but it is the San Antonio Police Department office that deals with property. So he wasn't that far off. So he's a little bit off in how he's handling it, but he's trying to handle it. I think we now understand Mr. Cooney's testimony about maybe there seems to be a lack of a meeting of the minds. And what we attribute that to, I'm not sure. But he's now been in jail on a Class A misdemeanor over 60 days. He hasn't complained about it. He's been to court. He's trying to handle it. The recommendation from the probation was to put him on intensive supervision. If he wants to continue and not serve out the rest of his sentence, I would join in that recommendation. I've asked him. I think he wants to get back to his home and his personal belongings and things that he needs to be taken care of because he's about to lose them by being in jail too long.
All right, probation, what is your recommendation?
Judge, our recommendation is ISP intensive supervision. We feel, reason being we didn't go with revocation, we just feel that he needs a more structured environment as far as field visits, curfew, so more intense supervision. So our recommendation was ISP.
All right, so this is what the court's thinking is. State, I do understand your concern. However, I think everyone knows the rules at the Bexar County Jail. If I were to sentence him to 365 days at the Bexar County Jail, which is the maximum, at the jail, you receive 2 for 1, 3 for 1. He will be soon released. Defense counsel says he already has 60 days. So depending on what is happening at the Bexar County Jail, either he's going to get credit for just 60 days, or either they're going to give him credit for 120 days or 180 days. There's overcrowding at the jail. I think in this case, one, probation will probably now tighten up their conditions of probation to include do not attempt to purchase weapons. Mr. Martinez, that's one of those cases where you maybe win an appeal, but then the defense bar is upset because now things have changed. I could do one or two things, and I'm going to leave the choice up to you. I can continue you, but I'm going to put you on GPS. That's how I'm going to tighten it up for you. He will be allowed to work, but that's it. And then if he proves to the court that he's able to abide by the conditions, then the next step the court will have is the court will then allow him to still be on GPS, but there'll be a curfew. And then the next step will be tracking. Then the next step will be removal. That's your choice. You can either do that, but you're going to be on GPS if I continue you, or either I will send you to the Bexar County Jail, and I'm taking into consideration the fact that you honestly, you were sort of doing your own thing. So I will sentence you to 360 days at the Bexar County Jail. So those are your two choices. You can either do 360 days at the Bexar County Jail, or either you can do GPS. And let me just tell you what I'm going to do. If you choose to continue on probation, I'm going to do GPS, and I'm going to do a 30-day jail sanction. And I'm going to give you credit for the time that you've been in custody. So if you're ever sentenced or revoked on this probation, you won't have 60 days. You only have 30 days. So which do you prefer? You want to speak to your attorney?
Judge, clarification for me, GPS for the duration?
Until further notice.
He's fine with the GPS.
All right. So this is what the court is going to do then. And is there any other conditions, state that you would like?
Just see. No attempting to purchase a firearm, Your Honor.
All right.
And then, of course, just all the other remaining conditions to be kept in place.
All right. This is the court. The court would deny the motion, alter the main conditions to no attempting to buy any weapon. So that means brass knuckles. That means everything that is on their list. Do you understand? No attempting to purchase or obtain any weapon. GPS waive fees. He's at the Bexar County Jail, so it'll be easy for them to do it there. And there's going to be a GPS until further notice. And there'll be partial GPS for employment and for any conditions of probation. So if you have to report and you're on GPS, then you can go report. If you have to take your BIP class, then you can go take your BIP class. But here's the thing, when you're on GPS and it's for work or for you to go to probation, you cannot stop at Burger King, HEB, or any of these places, even if it's on the route, because it's going to show up as a violation. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, so partial GPS for employment, and I'm just going to say fulfillment of probation conditions. And all other conditions are still in place. Probation, is there anything else that he needs?
Does he need to retake the BIP course?
Yes. You're going to take the BPI course that the court requires you to take. You understand?
Yes.
And Your Honor, does he need to do the TAP evaluation as well? Would that be done in this year out of this week?
TAP evaluation is usually 2 weeks. We can do the TAP evaluation out of custody. If you miss that TAP evaluation, what's going to end up happening is they're going to file a motion to revoke. Do you understand?
Yes.
Probation, is there anything else? Is there
No,
anything-
Judge. No,
Thank
Judge,
you.
that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
I just wanted to say, thank you for taking the time just to, my case.
You're welcome. Do you understand everything? So if you have a question, next time you have a question about something, ask your probation officer. And if they don't answer it, you could have came here to the 187th and said, Judge, I want to know if I can purchase a gun, or if I try to purchase a gun, what will happen? And I would have told you a motion to revoke is going to be filed and nobody should be allowing you to purchase a weapon. That's why I'm here. All right. Okay. Good luck to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Judge. I think we're done. You want me to skip the excuse?
Yes. Have a good one.
So we're not doing it doc until 1 o'clock tomorrow?
Yes, because I have to go to an appointment early in the morning.
See you
All right.
tomorrow.
Thank you.